I really do love this Harbor Freight bit set. Even Taco Bell can't cram this much crap in a box for $10. I took this set into a clean room, and they made me spray 10% bleach so no yellow fever would escape. Rip. Ah, the poetry of using Harbor Freight tools to fix other Harbor Freight tools. I grabbed this a couple years ago for tumbling brass and such. Like most cheap Harbor Freight tools, it's got one fatal flaw. The washer and wing nut gets so hot from vibration that it melts a hole through the lid. So I put a rubber thing here, that helps the vibration, and then a big fender washer, and another washer, and then another ring nut. Holds it together. The first time it happened, the lid came off, and I didn't realize it for like an hour, and by the time I got back to my garage, the air was just thick with cancerous, lead-infused, crushed walnut dust. That'll do. Unfortunately, now it's found a second flaw. Nothing. You can hear something's going on. Someone's home. Sounds like classic start capacitor failure. With the spark arrestor off, we can see there's not a whole lot in here. Just a big motor with a big weight hanging off of it here. Precision engineered to make the vibration happen. Cheap PVC power cord with a nice strain relief. Everything's crimped. Simple rocker switch on or off. Oh, and there's a capacitor. Yep, 6 microfarads. Actually, this is just a ceiling fan capacitor. Like electricity, my grease emits like the path of least resistance. Contrary to what you might hear from someone whose boss pays for their tools for them, you don't need a fancy capacitor analyzer to check out a start cap. All you need is a voltmeter in ohms mode. A bad capacitor will show an open or a short, but a good capacitor will slowly open up as it charges from the meter. You should see some resistance reading that gets larger and larger as it approaches an open circuit. Son of a diddly. It's passing the test. That can't be right. Here's my fancy capacitor analyzer. Got it from an estate sale. I think his name is Dave. Thanks, Dave. Of course, it runs on D batteries. All my D batteries are currently in child's toys. Got this from Dave, too. To the rescue. Looks like it's just 4 D batteries in series. They're connected here. So if I put negative there and positive 6 volts there, should work. I actually never leave batteries in my rarely used tools because I don't like them pissing acid everywhere because I left them in too long. Benchtop power supplies for the win. Suck it, Energizer. Since it's a 6 microfarad capacitor, I'll just put this into 10 microfarad range. This old thing has a nice feature where you can just shove the leads right in. It shouldn't read 6. And it does. The one time I feel confident about a diagnosis. I'm going to take the bowl off and see if it works any better with no load. Got to put a 10mm wrench on here because no socket will reach, and of course it's nylon threaded. So this is going to take forever.
2 hours later.
Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. All right, now don't kick it over. Oh, she wants to go. She just can't. To get the motor apart, you just got these 4 screws here. And then there's these springs that bolt in through the bottom. I don't think I have to take that nut off, which is good, because if I got to thread that nylon lock nut 8 inches, I'm just going to throw it out. I'm going to pull the switch out here. Just take the whole thing out of the housing so I can put it on the bench and give it a proper bench test. I'm going to throw it in Pop-Pop's vise there just so it doesn't run away from me. The ground lug is completely loose. That's fine. I like to tighten the vise just until I hear, and we're good. I'm going to take a lesson from the shop vac video and check out the switch. I've got my OSHA certified switch bypassing tool here. Alright, I've given this piece of shit every chance I can give it. You can tell it wants to go. It's not mechanically locked up in any way. It spins free when it's powered off. Something's wrong internally. For what this costs, if it's got a winding or an armature problem, fuck it. Hey ladies. Let's see if I can do it twice in one day. Nope. Same as always. Like me, this motor's not as young as it used to be. Take the set screw out, and I should be able to lift off the vibrating dingus. Well, that looks pretty dickered. You can see how hot the steel got. It's blued. And it's all crusty. It looks like, I don't know, maybe when the lid came off, some media got in there and chewed up the armature. The bearings feel okay, because they're shielded, but this thing just looks toasted. No wonder it wouldn't start. Well, I'm going to put this back together. Maybe it's one of those scenarios where you take it apart, put it back together, and it miraculously starts working. I somehow doubt it. Your hand is not a hammer. Maybe someone would fix this, but I'm never going to trust it again. Not plugged in for long periods of time unattended. Especially not in the room where all my gunpowder